So the event is starting and I want to help you out so that you don't make the rookie mistakes that I see people make every day at our events. So the way it's going to work is I'm going to give you my top 10 list of rookie mistakes you don't want to make at a speed dating event. So my number one tip is don't get wasted. I can't reiterate that enough. It happens all the time. Just limit yourself to one drink before the event and then maybe one drink while you're dating, and that is sufficient. You're not going to be drunk. You're not going to regret things you say. Number two, breathing friendly is key. You're speed dating, you're meeting 10 to 25 people, your mouth is gonna get dry, you're very close, it's very intimate. If you just open your mouth once and your breath is bad, you're probably not gonna get picked as a match. Tip number three, don't be closed-minded when you go to an event. So you walk into the doors and you assess the crowd and you don't see anyone that you're attracted to. You turn yourself off, you shut yourself off, you're not being open-minded. Don't look at it like that. Talk to people, be open-minded. Maybe they're not the one for you, but maybe they'll introduce you to their friend or give you a lead on a new job or an apartment. Maybe you'll meet a really cool woman, you'll have a new best friend. You never know, so you want to be open-minded when you go to events. Tip number four, you want to respect the bell. When the bell rings, that signifies the end of the date. It doesn't just signify the end of the date if you're not having a good date. If you're really enjoying yourself, it doesn't give you the right to sit there and continue. So when the bell rings, regardless where you are in the conversation, you shake your hand, it was nice to meet you, and you rotate. Because the last thing you want to do is cut into somebody else's date, and the host will not be a fan. Tip number five, you want to have a really good handshake. Like I said, you never get a second chance to make a first impression, and a man or a woman with a bad handshake is not a good first impression, so you want to make sure you have a really nice, firm handshake upon first meeting your date. Speed dating tip number six. This is very important, and I see men do this more often than women. When you go to a speed dating event, everyone is supposed to meet everyone. It's not just that you meet the people you want to meet. So if you're supposed to be dating number six, and you don't care for that woman, that does not give you the right to just skip her and go on to somebody else or, take a bathroom break at that point. You need to meet everyone, and it's the right thing to do. Tip number seven, this is a very important one, and I see a lot of people make this mistake as well. When you're talking to your date, the last thing you want to do is talk about the guy at, date number two who wouldn't shut up or who had really bad breath. It just seems rude. They may think you're going to talk about them and may cause them to shut off to you, and who knows, they may have came with that person, so it could be like you're offending them because that's their best friend. Tip number eight, like I mentioned, you're going to have a dating pamphlet and a pencil. It's really good practice as soon as you sit down with someone and introduce yourself that you write down their first name. By writing down their name, it shows that you're at least interested. At a lot of events, I see people that don't write down the person's name or anything, and then that person gets that impression that you're not even interested in them enough to write their name down. So regardless if you're into them or not, just to be polite, write down their first name when you meet them. So tip number nine. When you're speaking with someone at a speed date, you only get 3 to 5 minutes, so you want to keep the conversation very light. You don't want to dominate the conversation. I've seen this happen as well, where a man or woman will just be like going into their whole life story, and then the bell rings, and the other person didn't even get to say anything. So you definitely want to not do that. You should avoid that at all costs. It should be an even exchange of information back and forth. Where are you from? I'm from here. Where are you from? Tip number 10, and this is very key for speed dating. The whole thing with speed dating is it's supposed to be a really non-pressure environment, unlike the bar scene. At the bar scene, women are constantly getting hit on and asked for their phone number. At a speed dating event, you are not supposed to ask people for their phone number. That is a taboo at speed dating events. So you'll get your chance to see if they selected you as a match, and that's how it works. Do not ask people for their phone numbers.